In mid-December, the move toward a truly regional transit system was given the go-ahead when the 7th municipality in Niagara voted in support of the change. One notable council that did not support the move was the city of Welland. Mayor Frank Campion joins us now. Mayor, your opposition is not against regional transit in theory or to go ahead with regional transit. It's instead against the details of how it will be administered.
We fully support the regional transit, the amalgamation of regional transit, have from the very beginning. It's just when the information was flowing out as a part of the motion that's coming out of the region, we had some difficulty with, I guess, really three major issues. And so it doesn't stop us from supporting amalgamated transit in Niagara. What it does is it puts us in a position where we want that information before we buy into it. And simply put, we're expecting and hoping that the region will comply with the requests that we've put forward. Having said that, again, they do have the triple majority, and I think that lessens the incentive for them to respond to what we were looking for. So we'll see what happens from there. This has not been to our council yet for final vote on it. We simply put amendments forward.
One of the things that you're concerned about is how Welland's assets, in the terms of buses and other assets, will be applied, and also the number of seats on the transit board in the future.
Yeah, those are two major issues, and the other major issue is the financial model that's being used. So if you want me to go through the issues in a little bit more detail, is that what you're looking for?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll start with the financial model. So it's based on pre-COVID ridership numbers, which are just completely not accurate in today's world and probably won't be for quite some time. So our position is we want to know exactly what that looks like in today's world, because it will have an impact on cost recoveries as well as ridership numbers and income. And so how is that going to be dealt with? So that's a big unknown for us right now. The other issue is, we really, as a major player in the transit system currently in Niagara, there's three major providers. We're one of them, but we're being given one vote or one board member at the table, which is the same as what Waynfleet has, that doesn't have any transit. So we feel we should have better and more representation on that transitional board. And of course, the final one is the transfer of assets. So the region wants to apply the Cummings principle, which simply says you just upload them for free because they've been paid for by taxpayers. It's true to a degree. However, the city of Welland owns those assets, has put money into those assets, and we feel that we should be compensated for that, as should St. Catharines and Niagara Falls. Not sure why they're not interested in that, but that's certainly something that is a major factor for us. So those are the issues we need to deal with. Some of them we can probably deal with as we go through the process, but right now there seems to be no movement from the region on those.
You sat on the Linking Niagara Transit Committee with a number of other mayors and other regional politicians. Were your opinions received well by the other members?
I'll just say that they were received.
Moving forward, regional transit is a go, as you mentioned. We have the triple majority. It's going to happen. How positive are you that your voices will continue to be heard?
Well, that's really part of our concern. I mean, that's why we put those amendments forward, hoping to deal with those things prior to getting into the transition itself. So I think it's going to make the transitional agreements more difficult because have not been predetermined prior to the approvals. And it will have an effect on every municipality in Niagara. We're not really being parochial here. We're trying to have the best transit system with the best possible information at the present time. So I think we're going to be negotiating our way through this, and we'll see what happens after that.
In the next 20 to 30 years, Welland and Niagara-on-the-Lake are two of the areas that are really pegged for huge growth. How will this regional transit system, as it moves forward, have to be adapted to include that growth in its plans?
Yeah, and that it's a moving target as we move forward. Certainly, yeah, the growth is going to be phenomenal in both the areas that you've identified, and it will require more transit And I'm not sure how the model is going to work, because it indicates that, basically right now you pay for the services that you have within your municipality. So is that going to increase the cost for Niagara-on-the-Lake and Welland? Or is there a better way to do that? Because it services the entire region. So it's people moving between municipalities, but they also have to move within municipalities. So again, that's something that will have to be accommodated as we start moving into more and more ridership.
We've seen these discussions when it comes to the police budget. Some towns have complained that they, donate, or I shouldn't say donate, contribute X number of dollars to the police budget, but they get Y value in service and aren't always happy with that. Are we in danger of seeing that with transit as well?
I think it's a possibility. They've sort of accommodated a lot of it right now, and I think that's why they moved into this the system where you sort of pay for what you get within your own municipality, and it's allocated that way. So we take a municipality like Waynfleet, who has no internal system and won't have it for a while, so they won't pay for any of that, but they will pay a levy for going between the municipalities. That's my understanding anyway. So it's kind of a mixed bag. We have from municipality to municipality and then within municipalities. But to put it simply, if somebody is living in Welland and so they're moving around in Welland, they have to get from point A to point B within our municipality, and then they might have to go to St. Catharines to get to the hospital. And then when they're in St. Catharines, they might want to move, go to the Penn Center or like that. So it's a very, it's complex, and it's certainly, is there an equitable way of doing it? I'm not sure there is. And we'll have to look at that as it transitions and see how it's dealt with.
When you tie it all together, you have no doubt that a regional transit system is a must for Niagara, though, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, we've never strayed from that. And as I keep pointing out, currently we are participating in intermunicipal transit and have been for several years now. We're one of the three municipalities that are providing that service to other municipalities. And it's simply what they've done is they've just changed the model. Instead of doing it this way, they want to centralize everything at the region, which makes sense. And that's why we support it. It's just, how do we get there, and what happens through our negotiations as we transition into that amalgamated system.